Your emotions are not just feelings. They are leashes, silent ropes tied to your pride, your desires, your fear of disrespect, and your need to be understood. Every time you react impulsively, someone observes how to control you. They identify your triggers. They discover your limits. Most men live this way, predictable and easy to read, because emotion exposes them in the worst possible way. It reveals weakness before a single word is spoken. Today, that pattern ends. Not with hype, not with soft explanations, but with execution. You're going to learn how to control emotions in a way that Niccolò Machiavelli would respect, quietly, strategically, and without guilt. Understand this clearly from the beginning. Being emotionless does not mean being empty inside. It means being disciplined internally. It means your face does not reveal what your mind is calculating. It means you don't plead for fairness because you recognize the world does not operate on fairness. It operates on power, perception, timing, leverage, and emotion. When unmanaged, emotion destroys all four. Anger makes you loud. Neediness makes you negotiable. Jealousy clouds judgment. Attachment weakens you at critical moments. So I will speak to you directly, as a man preparing for conflict, because social life often functions as one. Once you stop deceiving yourself, you will face provocation. You will be tested. You will be tempted to react and reveal your position. If you continue living emotionally, you will continue losing strategically. But if you develop true control, you become difficult to manipulate. You become the man who observes the room instead of seeking approval from it. Calm when others panic. Silent when others over-explain. Steady when others pursue validation. This is not entertainment. It is a shift in mindset. If you stay until the end, you won't just understand emotional control. You will begin becoming the kind of man who commands it. People remain stuck because they identify with every feeling that appears. The first step is simple. Stop identifying with emotions. Most people treat emotions as truth. That is the first illusion you must remove. An emotion is not a final judgment. It is a signal, a flare sent by your nervous system. Useful for information, dangerous for leadership. The moment you say, "I am angry, I am hurt, I am anxious," you hand control to a chemical reaction and label it authenticity. That is immaturity. A disciplined man observes. Here is the first rule of becoming untouchable. You are not the feeling. You are the one observing it. Imagine your mind as a throne room. Emotions are visitors. Some arrive loudly, demanding attention. Others arrive subtly, urging you to act quickly. But none of them are the ruler. And rulers do not obey visitors, they question them. They ask, "Why are you here? What triggered you? Who benefits if I act on you right now?" That question alone will protect you. Most reactions are not truly about the present moment. They are old patterns, childhood need for approval, ego wounds, fear of abandonment, the urge to prove yourself when challenged. Psychological manipulation is not complex. People press where you are sensitive and observe your response. Your first discipline, then, is detachment, not coldness for appearance, but detachment for control. When tension rises in your chest, do not fuel it with a story. Do not replay the insult. Do not rehearse revenge. Do not justify your sadness. Notice the sensation. Label it anger, shame, need. Then pause. That pause creates space. Space turns emotion into information. Information turns chaos into strategy. This is how you become difficult to read, not by pretending you feel nothing, but by refusing to broadcast it. Your expression becomes controlled. Your tone becomes measured. Your decisions become deliberate. People may dislike this change because they can no longer steer you. They may call you cold. Accept it. Steel is cold before it is shaped into strength. Now consider an uncomfortable truth. Many people do not connect with you, they manage you. They calculate, even if unconsciously. The easiest way to control someone is not through force but through emotion. Emotion creates predictability, and predictability becomes confinement. Through a strategic lens, if someone triggers guilt, they can extract favors. If they trigger anger, they can make you sabotage yourself. If they trigger jealousy, They can push you into competition, overspending, or overcommitting. If they activate your need for approval, they can guide you with compliments. Observe how this works. You are shamed into compliance, provoked into reacting, asked to explain yourself, then judged for the explanation. Manipulation is timing plus pressure. A sigh, a cold tone, a subtle insult, a look of dismissal. If your emotions are undisciplined, you will spend years proving yourself to those who benefit from your insecurity. Niccolò Machiavelli understood that people are moved more by fear and desire than by logic. Whoever influences fear and desire influences behavior. Emotional control, therefore, is not self-help, it is self-defense. When you remain calm under pressure, you remove access. When you stop reacting to disrespect, you stop being used. When you stop craving validation, you stop being available for sale. Expect resistance. Once others notice your change, they will test you harder. They want the former version, the one who explains too much, pursues too quickly, apologizes unnecessarily, reacts impulsively, forgives without evaluation. Your responsibility is simple. Let them face the silence of a man they cannot read. Let them speculate while you observe, assess, and choose actions that serve your interests. Pause, hold, decide. Here is the switch: delay. Emotional individuals lose because they move too fast. They answer immediately, defend instantly, attack prematurely, reveal too much. The strongest ability you can develop is refusing to move when pushed, not from numbness but from command. When provoked, your body reacts, heart rate rises, jaw tightens, thoughts prepare speeches. That is the trap. Speaking from that state sacrifices leverage. Train the pause deliberately. 3 seconds of silence can protect you more than hours of debate. During those seconds, maintain composure. No flinch, no forced smile, no defensive expression. A neutral face, not to intimidate but to prevent leaking information. Slow your breathing through the nose. Allow the emotion to rise without attaching action to it. You are teaching your nervous system a new instruction. Feel, but do not obey. Then ask the critical question. What is the objective? Not what do I feel? What is the objective? Do you want respect? Distance? To end the discussion? To gather information? The shift from emotion to objective transforms you from reactive to strategic. This is how you become steady in the room. Others attempt to pull you into their emotional storm, but you remain grounded. Let them speak. Let them reveal themselves. When you do not interrupt their emotions with yours, they often expose inconsistencies and insecurity. Machiavelli did not need volume to influence outcomes. He understood that controlling tempo controls results. From this moment forward, your default is slow. Your default is silence. Your default is selection. You are not rushed. You are not dragged. You are not provoked into surrendering power. Now turn inward. Identify your triggers. Eliminate their fuel. To master emotions, you do not fight them heroically, you analyze them precisely. The emotion itself is not the enemy. The trigger is, and triggers are personal. They reveal where you are still controllable. When anger appears, it is rarely about the present event. Touches pride, status, or fear of weakness. When jealousy appears, it reflects insecurity. When anxiety appears, it often signals discomfort with uncertainty. Here is the next principle: what you can clearly name, you can weaken. Avoid vague statements like, "I'm upset." Vagueness controls you. Be specific. "My ego feels threatened. I am seeking approval. I fear rejection. I want revenge." Now you confront truth. Once truth is visible, you stop pretending you are reacting out of righteousness. You recognize a nerve was activated. And many people press those nerves intentionally. They do not overpower you, they activate you. So you deny the trigger its reward. If it demands argument, you choose silence. If it demands pursuit, you step back. If it demands proof, you withhold. If it demands explosion, you remain neutral. Emotional patterns weaken when not fed. This is retraining, not suppression. Machiavelli would call this mastery of self, knowing your vulnerabilities so others cannot weaponize them. Each identified trigger removes a chain. Over time, reactions fade. Old tactics, guilt, pressure, disrespect lose effect. That calm becomes your new standard. The individual who cannot be provoked cannot be controlled. Now consider masculine stoicism. It is not performance. It is discipline under pressure. It is enduring weight without seeking attention. The world does not reward the most expressive man. It rewards the most functional one. If you intend to become untouchable, redefine pain. Pain is not a command to stop. It is feedback that you are being strengthened. The weak negotiate with discomfort. They demand softer conditions, fairness, guarantees. The strong adapt. Reality will disappoint you, misjudge you, betray you, delay you. That is not tragedy, it is training. Your emotions will attempt to dramatize it. They will push you to complain or collapse. Your task is different. You remain steady. You adjust. You continue. They want you to find comfort in reacting. But comfort has a cost. Costs you sharpness. Costs you clarity. Costs you momentum. So you build the habit of silent endurance. When something hurts, you don't rush to explain it. You don't share it with people who may use it against you. You don't turn it into your identity. You absorb it and convert it like heat-shaping steel. This is the masculine code. Control your mouth. Control your expression. Control your habits. Habits outlast moods. On days you feel nothing, you still show up. On days you feel anger, you still move with precision. On days you feel rejected, you still maintain your standards. Niccolò Machiavelli understood that appearances matter, but inner stability matters more. A man who cannot carry pain without broadcasting it becomes easy to manage. A man who carries pain quietly becomes difficult to read because no one knows what drives him. That is the objective. Let them see outcomes, not reactions. Now we replace emotion with something more useful. Strategy. Emotions do not disappear through force alone. They fade when your mind is assigned a higher task. If anger demands a fight, give your mind a plan. If anxiety demands certainty, give your mind a system. If attachment demands closeness, give your mind standards. This is applied psychology. When you rise above the feeling and shift into calculation, you stop being ruled by the moment. You become someone who selects outcomes. Use this ritual in real time. When emotion appears, ask yourself 3 questions. First, what do I gain if I react? Second, what do I lose if I react? Third, what is the best move if ego is removed? That third question changes everything. Most conflicts are ego battles disguised as principles. Someone disrespects you and ego demands retaliation. The strategic man asks, is this worth my energy? Does my reaction give them value? Is silence stronger? Sometimes the strongest action is no action. Sometimes dominance is a neutral expression and a decision to withdraw access. Strategy also requires timing. Do not confront in heat. Do not negotiate while emotional. Do not promise while lonely. Do not threaten while angry. Emotional timing is poor timing. So you delay. You cool down. You observe. Then you act with clarity. Machiavelli built his philosophy on this reality. People are ruled by impulses. The one who masters impulse gains advantage. You do not need to win every exchange. You need to control position, reputation, and options. When you think this way, emotions become background noise while you move deliberately. People will sense your restraint. They will feel that you could react but choose not to. That choice is authority. The next level is social mastery, becoming unreadable. When people cannot read you, they cannot predict you. When they cannot predict you, they cannot control you. Most men enter conversations like open books. Their expressions reveal insecurity. Their tone seeks approval. Their words reveal intention before results exist. That is why they are manipulated. They want to be understood. But influence is not built through being understood. It is built through being respected. Respect grows from boundaries and uncertainty. So you practice the closed-door advantage. Speak less and make your words deliberate. Stop over-explaining your decisions. Stop defending your silence. Let people sit with uncertainty. This alone changes how they treat you because people are cautious around what they cannot fully map. When you remain composed, others begin to expose themselves. They talk too much. They fill silence with unnecessary details. They attempt to pull you back into predictability. In doing so, they reveal their intentions and insecurities. You see clearly because you are not reacting. Silence is not weakness. It is a test. It tests whether they respect you without constant reassurance. It tests whether they can handle boundaries without drama. It tests whether they are secure or dependent. While they struggle, you gather information. The person who speaks last often controls the frame. You do not rush to reply. You do not react to every provocation. You do not lower standards because someone offers attention. Your calm becomes a filter. Machiavelli would approve of this approach. Appear accessible when it benefits you, but never fully available. People value what they cannot fully possess. Your expression remains controlled. Your warmth becomes selective. Your anger stays unseen. When you display emotion, it is intentional. That is the difference between having feelings and having power. One leaks, the other chooses, and choice makes you untouchable. Now we define the untouchable code. It stands on 3 pillars: boundaries, scarcity, and exit power. Boundaries mean you do not negotiate self-respect. Scarcity means your attention is limited. Exit power means you can leave without explanation. These 3 unsettle manipulators because they rely on access and availability. Remove that dependency and everything changes. Weak men threaten to leave to provoke reactions. They announce their pain. They plead. They write long messages. They demand closure. That is emotional bargaining, and it destroys leverage. The untouchable man communicates clearly once, then enforces. If disrespect continues, access is reduced. If games continue, he withdraws. If manipulation appears, he confirms and exits. No shouting, no essays, no repeated warnings. Attention is currency, and you stop funding what disrespects you. Scarcity is not manipulation. It is the natural result of standards. When you are constantly available, there is no cost to mistreating you. When access requires respect, behavior changes, or you walk away. That is the principle. Exit power is final because it requires no argument. It requires self-control. You do not punish. You remove presence. Machiavelli would describe this as refusing to be at the mercy of others. The man who needs people is controllable. The man who can walk away is respected, even without threats. Your boundaries are quiet. Your scarcity is natural. Your exit is clean. When you live this way, you stop chasing respect. Respect begins to follow you because you are structured around it. Emotionless does not mean heartless. It means controlled. It means you do not allow temporary feelings to create permanent consequences. You feel fully, but you respond only after deciding what serves you. Power is not emptiness. It is stability. It is maintaining steady hands when pressure rises. It is refusing to trade your future for brief ego relief. It is choosing dignity over temporary comfort. You were trained to react by family, culture, peers, and by those who benefit from your predictability. They want your face to reveal your thoughts. They want your words to expose your triggers. They want emotion to do their work. Now you understand the shift. You do not express emotion impulsively. You command it. You extract information from the feeling and discard the impulse. That is discipline. That is the difference between being used and being respected. From this point forward, you move like a strategist, not a victim. When provoked, you slow down. When attacked, you become quiet. When jealous, you evaluate your standards. When anxious, you return to your system. When rejected, you see direction, not insult. When tempted to over-explain, you ask, is this for truth or approval? The former version of you chased clarity and was exploited. The new version uses silence, and others reveal themselves within it. The former argued to be understood. The new acts and results become proof. Emotional control is not something you display on easy days. It is what you practice on difficult ones, when pride is challenged, when plans fail, when trust is broken. That is when discipline matters. So here is the oath in clear language. I will not expose my wounds publicly. I will not beg for validation. I will not react on impulse. I will not hand anyone the map to my triggers. I will not trade dignity for comfort. I will become the man who walks away calmly and thinks clearly. I will be scarce out of self-respect. I will be disciplined not to impress, but to remain steady. When you live by this code, behavior around you changes. People either improve or reveal themselves faster. In both cases, you benefit. You stop wasting time on emotional chaos. You stop negotiating with weakness. You stop being available for manipulation. You become untouchable because there is nothing in you that asks to be pulled. Before you leave, mark this shift publicly. Write in the comments, I am calm and I am dangerous. Let it stand as a commitment to your future self. If this message reached you as intended, don't just watch and move on. Like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications. This is not entertainment. It is training, and the version of you that is forming cannot afford to miss what comes next.